Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7 update 1.40 or spec 2. Now, alongside this update, we got the biggest amount of engine swaps ever for a single update, including a brand new swap itself, which was kind of completely out of the blue, as well as some existing swaps getting some brand new cars to shove the engine into. So let's get into them. We'll start off with the newest addition in terms of engine swaps in GT7, and one that certainly surprised me. That is the Bugatti Chiron W16 engine. Yep, you heard me right. The over 1500 brake horsepower Bugatti Chiron now has its own engine to be swapped into almost anything. There's a wide variety of cars that this one covers, and I'm going to go through each and every single one of them. So let's get straight into it with the first of these vehicles. That's going to be the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 C6 from 2009. So in terms of the swaps themselves, this is definitely one that I probably won't be trying. As you can see, the price of the engine swap itself is 1.6 million credits for each of these cars. So every time you want to swap this engine in, it's going to be 1.6 million credits. Rather pricey, actually not the most expensive of this update, but overall I just wouldn't recommend really putting it in the C6 ZR1. Next up, we have another one that I perhaps wouldn't recommend it going in. However, you know, it is a high horsepower vehicle, a bit of a brute. This is the Dodge Viper GTS from 2013. Now, the original stats that you've seen for the Viper here are fully upgraded. So as you can see, it's already putting out 1000 brake horsepower. I could see this being kind of useful in terms of a ridiculous drift build though. So maybe if you wanted to go down that route, then, you know, there is the possibility of now pulling that one off. Car number 3, probably the best of the bunch, and one that I actually do have engine swapped. You're seeing it being compared to a stock version of the vehicle though. This is a Lamborghini Huracan LP 610-4 from 2015. As you can see, it absolutely puts the horsepower through the roof, adding just a slight touch of extra performance points. But I do recommend doing this one. 4-wheel drive, the Lamborghini with this engine swap is absolutely ridiculous. 2 more vehicles to go, and now we have the Lexus RCF from 2014. As you can see, this is already quite a bulky, heavy vehicle, and you're going to be adding around about 200 kilograms extra, taking it upwards of 2000 kilograms. However, it does add over 1000 brake horsepower to the standard model, but in all honesty, I just couldn't see this one working out too much. Maybe once again, if like the Viper, you wanted to go down the sort of drift build route, but in all honesty, just wouldn't recommend that one too much. However, one I would recommend is this. This is the Nissan GTR Nismo from 2017, which also has its own engine swap or additional engine swap, which I'll show you a little bit later down the line. But this can now be Bugatti Chiron swapped, and as you can see, even on my fully upgraded GTR, it puts the stats absolutely through the roof. Yeah, great swap this one. I could see it absolutely being a gem and a half for a lot of people. So that's all the Bugatti Chiron swaps out the way. Let's move into another pre-existing swap, this time around with the GAC Maverick once again. I feel like ever since this car came into the sort of world of Gran Turismo 7, it's been providing engine swaps pretty much update by update. I think it was only last month that we got the absolutely ridiculous Porsche Cayman GT4 road car that actually got the GAC Maverick swap. This time around, it's going to be something that makes a little bit more sense than, you know, maybe the Porsche did to many people. The GAC Maverick with its Windsor engine can now be put inside the Ford Mustang Group 3 road car. Now, I could see this one actually working. It's a rather inexpensive swap at 250,000 credits, but I could definitely see it working as maybe a, you know, full aggression drift build. As you can see, it puts the horsepower up from 502 to, you know, upwards of nearly 1200 brake horsepower, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Taking it from NA to turbocharged, I could definitely see some pretty impressive drift builds coming out of this one. Now, that's it for the Maverick. We're going to move into the good old trusty 787B, which has actually got a brand new swap for this update. So the 787B swap is perhaps the most, I guess, requested and most loved engine swap of the bunch, mainly for its increased fuel consumption, insane sound. It's just a very much loved and popular choice of engine swap. This time around, I think the last time we had it was the Mazda 3 road car, something like that. It's going into a road-going race car, essentially. This time keeping up with this sort of Group 3 road car theme, going in the Mazda Atenza Group 3 road car. As you can see, in terms of overall power output, it takes it from 483 to 690. It does add a little bit in terms of weight. It takes it from a turbocharged engine to a naturally aspirated, and you get that insane and beautiful rotary sound as well as the fuel consumption. Most expensive one of the bunch though at 1.75 million, so it is completely up to you if you want to do this one. Now moving on once again to the Nissan GTR Nismo. This one seems to have a bunch of reliable engine swaps. It's, you know, a kind of one of the engine swaps in GT7 that really makes sense to me. It's a good building block for a lot of performance, and once again it does get a brand new swap. So what does this one go into this time around? This actually goes into one that I probably wasn't expecting. I was assuming maybe there was a Nissan car, maybe the 400R, something like that, but no, it goes in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution final Group B road car, so the road going version of the rally car. Now this is a relatively cheap engine swap at 193,500 credits, so you're getting a fair bit of bang for your buck here, and in all honesty, although it wasn't in something that I expected it to go in, I could see this one making a lot of sense. We have the likes of the Lancia with the GTR Nismo swap, so there's no reason why this one just wouldn't work. Next up, we have another one of the SEMA winning cars that seems to be putting engine swaps out left, right and centre ever since its release. I feel like this one's kind of been slowly plucking away in the background in terms of adding them. I believe I have one of these engines in my RE Amemia, which is just absolutely insane for a drift build. But this time it's the Roadster Shop Rampage, which is going to be putting its LS7 Rampage engine inside a Corvette, which, you know, again, makes sense considering it's pretty much a Corvette engine anyway, just I believe tuned up a little bit. So this one is going to continue the theme of sort of the Group 3, Group B road car vibes that we're getting with this update. This is going in a Chevrolet Corvette C7 Group 3 road car. As you can see, it gives it a nice little boost in terms of the performance, relatively inexpensive at 250,000 credits, and again, I could see it just giving this car that little extra nudge. I couldn't see this one being, you know, overly ridiculous in terms of just causing a ton of wheel spin and such like that. So nice little stat boost, nice little power boost. Definitely could see this one working and being very, very useful. So let's move on to the final engine swap of the update. I feel like there was an absolute ton of swaps for this one. This is the Roof CTR3 with its CTR38 engine now getting a new place to be. Now in terms of this vehicle here, I feel like this one's had a bunch of engine swaps to begin with and then kind of, you know, sort of faded away. I don't think it's had one for rather quite a long time. And again, it's going to be one of those engine swaps that I just really didn't expect, but I could definitely see working in one way or another. So the swap this one goes into is the Subaru WRX Group B road car. As you can see, it gives it a nice little stat boost, taking it to 611.18 performance points. In terms of overall power output, I believe this one's fairly close to standard anyway. In terms of the WRX on the original engine, it'll take it to 690. So definitely could see this one working out maybe with a bit of tuning. 550,000 credits for this one. So again, bit more expensive, but not breaking the bank. So there we have it. That is all of the engine swaps from update 1.40 or spec 2. There was plenty of them in there, and definitely the surprise of the bunch was just seeing the ability to swap the Chiron engine into plenty of vehicles. Obviously that being the brand new swap that's available with this update. Definitely a surprise to see. Then we also have some reliable engine swaps that have been sort of in and out of updates for, you know, what seems like ever since their addition to the game, in the form of the GAC Maverick and obviously the Roadster Shop Rampage, as well as the GTR getting that engine, the Nismo engine, put into a brand new vehicle. Again, that's one that's very popular, and with it being put in a four-wheel drive car, definitely, you know, a decent place to build upon, with the most expensive of the bunch being the 787B swap. Again, amazing fuel economy, amazing its sound in terms of that vehicle, so definitely a nice bunch of engine swaps. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.